So the more pharmaceuticals I'm taking, the more you can accurately predict my life expectancy?
The more accurately we can predict your
Why
death.
is that?
So you take things, for example, like statins, right? So statins lower LDL cholesterol. There was a prevailing theory in medicine, which is vastly being disproven now, largely by artificial intelligence and big data, that when LDL cholesterol is up, there's an increased risk of cardiovascular disease. And so if we lower LDL cholesterol, we'll lower the risk of cardiovascular disease. The only problem is you're looking at that so myopically, right? You're just taking that one variable, LDL high, high risk of cardiovascular disease. LDL low, low risk of cardiovascular disease. It's not that simple. In fact, there's no correlation between elevated LDL cholesterol on its own as an independent risk factor and cardiovascular disease. None. Cholesterol does not cause atherosclerotic plaquing or narrowing of the arteries. Damage to the arterial wall does, and the inflammatory cascade does. And so what happens is, if you understand what cholesterol is, right, it's not a fuel source. Cholesterol is a construction material. So the body makes it. The liver makes 85% of the cholesterol in your bloodstream. And what is it used for? Well, we build every cell wall, every cell membrane, every hormone in the human body, and we use it to make vitamin D3, cholecalciferol, the most important nutrient in the human body, in my opinion. And so what happens when you push this nutrient low? Well, now you buy yourself consequences down the road. Now you're interrupting cell walls, cell membranes, hormones, vitamin D3, and now people get on a statin. Now their joints start aching, their memory starts to go. Now they increase their risk for Alzheimer's, early onset dementia. Cognitive decline is one of the fastest accelerants of aging. People that are in steep cognitive decline are not compliant with their, medications and protocols. And so you've taken this one independent risk factor, and because you think you're lowering the risk of cardiovascular disease, you create this entire cascade of problems down the road. And we saw this over and over and over again. In fact, we did not process a death claim, not one, in my entire 22-year career on a centenarian that did not have elevated levels of LDL cholesterol at the time of their death.
Wow.
Not once.
Interesting.
But modern medicine would say LDL cholesterol is a risk factor for cardiovascular disease. No, it's actually a risk factor for longevity. High LDL and low triglyceride and high HDL cholesterol is a marker for longevity, not for cardiovascular disease. And so we believed a lot in what pharma and contrived medical trials were telling us was the standard of care, and the standard of care was killing people, flatly, to be honest.